Oh, that's the wrong camera. There we go. Dang. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I have a meeting in about an hour, so I'm only going to be here for like 30 minutes. I just wanted to take some time to talk to everybody. Morning, everybody. I am Ebia, Roxanne Martis, Brissa Aguilar. I'm doing great. How are you? So I'm just going to kind of dive into it. I'm going to post this on my stuff. As usual, there is a donation going on for the Heal Los Angeles Foundation. No pressure whatsoever, but if you are in a given mood, all money is appreciated and greatly loved. You know, we're trying to spread a good message over here. So, and that's kind of what I want to talk about is, for a while, I really wanted to do like a podcast, you know, or a talk show or something like this, talking about controversial topics, just because I kind of like to get under people's skin, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's just immature thinking. And what I actually want to do is, I believe in personal growth, and that if you really want to change and you want to grow, I believe that you can. But if you don't, then you won't. So the whole purpose of having conversations with people is to understand the other side and to see a different way of thinking. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but it means that you have a deeper understanding of their thought process. And this is something that I kind of learned in philosophy when I was at LMU. It was about trying to understand how the other person thinks. It's actually the Socratic method of argument, and it has to do with figuring out, like, it basically has to do with shutting down somebody else's argument, but that's not what this is for. This is actually just to understand where somebody else is coming from, so you can either better articulate your side of the argument, or you can better understand where they're coming from. So, you know, I want to talk about stuff that's not controversial. If it's controversial to you, I don't know what to tell you, all right? I'm just talking about stuff that I feel is very important to me as an individual, as a person, and as the son of Michael Jackson. And that's just what this is about. So the first conversation, or first kind of topic that I really want to talk about is compassion. And if I get emotional, it's because I care about this a lot. Something that my father taught me, you know, having basic compassion for everyone and anyone. And I think it will open your eyes to a whole new world out there when you understand that we're all one and the same. You know, I had such a very in-depth conversation with TJ, Francis, and Dee Dee the other day about how it's not, you shouldn't belittle other people's problems. You know, some people are going through different struggles, and some, to you, their struggles may be more or less relative to your struggles. But let's just take you out of the equation, because their struggles are not your struggles. And the way they feel, and the way I explained it to Dee Dee, is someone that has the rent due versus someone that has, let's say, a test or homework due. The stress is relatively the same. And if you're a young child, you don't understand the necessity for rent being due. So the only stress that you have is having that homework due. So the levels of stress and anxiety that are caused from this are one and the same. And it's having that understanding first and foremost that everybody's struggles are a struggle. Be they big or small in your opinion, they're probably big to the person that's going through them. And I think part of the first step in understanding compassion is understanding each other and just giving each other the benefit of the doubt. You know, I have a close friend of mine who recently moved out here to LA, and if you're unfamiliar with it, we do have a large homeless population, and it is a big problem. It's something that we've tried to address, but it's unfortunate because it's a multifaceted issue, and primarily it has to do with mental health issues or mental disabilities, and people kind of fail to recognize that. So when I was having this conversation with this close friend, they said that they feel kind of nervous when a homeless person comes up to them asking for money or just asking for support. And I understand that. You know, I don't think homeless people always look the most presentable because they don't have access to basic needs such as like hygiene, you know, or a place to sleep. And of course, that's going to take a physical toll on someone. So, you know, if you're not used to that and people coming up to you, strangers coming up to you, I can understand how you'd be a little intimidated or a little scared. But what I don't agree with, and this is where I had an ongoing conversation with this friend, is that their decision or the best way they thought would help with this situation would be to ignore them, not to make eye contact, because they didn't know how to react or what to say. They didn't have cash on them. They can't help them. And they didn't know what to say. And personally, I don't agree with that, because I feel like as a human being, as part of the human experience, it's important to have others, I don't want to say validate your existence, but acknowledge your existence. And I feel that if you're down on hard times, and homeless people, whatever issue or whatever reason they are for being homeless, they understand that they are down on hard times. And if you're just out looking for help in any situation, I'm sure you can put yourself in that. If you were looking for help from a family member, from a friend, from whoever, and they don't even acknowledge that you're there, I think that would hurt a lot more, and that would make it worse in feeling. So when I was having this conversation with this friend, I told him that, I don't always carry cash, because honestly, if I do carry cash, I'm going to give it to people. So if I don't carry cash, I will acknowledge the homeless person and say, like, listen, I'm sorry, I don't have anything that I can give you right now. I've offered to buy a lot of food for homeless people. I've offered to have conversations if it's in the gas station to get them snacks. It's doing whatever it is that you can to help. And if you can't buy them anything, or you don't have any cash to give to them, then it's just as simple as looking them in the eye and saying, I'm sorry, I don't have anything. I just personally, I think it's incredibly rude and disrespectful to not, acknowledge their existence. And I think that it's very important in building the first step of understanding one another. And I'm hoping to do this on like a broader scale of things. I want to talk about a bunch of different things that I think are important in my life and just in the human existence. And the main one being compassion. And it just sucks. I see a lot of negativity, a lot of hate, a lot of pain out there in the world. And I'm just one person, so I can't really make a difference, but I can start, spreading the positivity or whatever it is that we're trying to do here. So I just want to encourage you guys, to exercise compassion, especially amongst your peers, but also amongst people you don't consider your peers, because that's when I think you really start to grow, is when you start to delve outside of your comfort zone and you start to help people and start to interact with people who you normally wouldn't. So, I went through a lot of stuff so quick, so I'm actually very happy about this. But, if there's anything that I can encourage you guys to have, is it's truly compassion for one another. It's gonna check in here and see how everybody's doing. What is going on? We've got 6 donations. See what's going on here. Plainview, thank you. Books in the Moon, Havhara, Jesus Christ of the Forest, Betsy Maddox, and Joel. Thank you guys for your donation. Really appreciate that. So this is something that I think is important. Compassion is something that I feel like it's a skill that we all need to develop, and it's not something, some people are innately born with it, and they can feel, you know what I mean? And that's just, it's their natural gift. I think some people need to exercise and they need to practice it in order to, become aware of other people's struggles. And because sometimes, the problems in our own individual lives can seem so big that they tend to take away from the human experience, which is a collective experience. And that's all of us experiencing this life together. And, I try to think about different ways to put it. I always use the same metaphors, that I don't really look at charity as charity, because I know that as someone who is prideful and as somebody who, if you need help, it's taken me a long time to accept when I need help, and I think that someone who is prideful, and they would not want to be receiving charity because they don't feel like they need it. So the way I look at charity, or the philanthropic, or the act of giving back, whatever you want to call it, is a social investment. And I consider it a social investment because I believe in the betterment of my community, of my peers. In any way I can do that, with financial resources, emotional resources, or any resources that I have at my disposal. If I can make my neighbors stronger, healthier, and happier, I make my community stronger, healthier, and happier. And that's just a belief that I have, that I'd like to start, throwing out to you guys, because I feel like if we all start thinking like this, we all start taking action actions from a place of love and compassion and understanding for one another, I feel like the world will be all right. I'm not here to talk about a political agenda. I'm not going to tell you how a country should be run, but I think that people who are in decision-making powers need to be making decisions from the heart. There's a whole world of business out there. You got to make decisions with your brain as well. But I think if you take into consideration empathy and compassion, I feel like, we can make this world a better place. So there's so many great things out there, that I think if you open your mind to positivity, you will receive positivity. If you're only focused on negativity and gossip, I think that's all that you're going to see. And, it's just... it's important to spread positivity. It's important to be positive because, I had an interesting conversation. I had a great dinner actually the other day with TJ, Francis, and their oldest daughter, or TJ and Francis's oldest daughter. Lexi's actually their oldest daughter. So with Dee Dee, she just turned 13. So it's crazy because, I remember when Dee Dee, when she was like 2, and I'm seeing her grow up into a very beautiful young woman. It's scary. But we had such a good conversation about the importance of happiness, and that's not to this conversation when it comes out across, and I'm working on it, and I apologize if I do offend anyone in the way it comes out. I do believe in the existence of depression and anxiety. I don't have a medical definition of it. And I just don't have a solid understanding of it, to be honest. I do believe that my generation and the generation younger than myself tend to throw around words such as depression and anxiety in too broad of a sense. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I had a very important conversation that I had with my cousin Dee Dee that I would like to share with you guys is, happiness is a choice. I know for a lot of people out there, I'm not negating that you have an actual struggle, and I wouldn't listen to me. I don't know how to help with that. All right. This is for everybody else out there. I wish I could help with depression and with anxiety. I genuinely, I'm all thumbs. I'm lost in that category, but happiness does come from within. And this is the story that I told, my cousin Dee Dee. I remember when my dad died, within that week, I was obviously really sad and everything like this. And I had a conscious choice that I could live my life sad and I can let this affect me for the rest of my life, or I can choose to be happy and I can try to, live my life from there. A lot of different religions, a lot of different cultures will say something along the lines of you can't control the outside world. You can only control how you react to it. And I think that's such an important understanding, is that it's tough. You know what I mean? It's not easy to always be happy. It is an ongoing, active mental activity that I try to always promote, that I always want to promote positivity and happiness, because a lesson I learned from my father is that you got to lead by example. You know what I mean? I can't tell you guys to be happy if I myself am not leading by example and trying to put that best foot forward. Lately I've been going out in my backyard looking at my grass because it's long. I like long grass, and I see the wind blowing, and I'm trying to appreciate that. And I tell my girlfriend, yo, look at the grass. It's blowing. It's like energy. It's like waves is in there. And she hasn't gotten it yet. I'm still working on her. She hasn't 100% seen what I'm talking about, but it really is finding the beauty. It's not just appreciating, oh, that's nice. It's truly loving and finding the beauty in the little things. And it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to have bad weeks. I worry about anybody that I care about personally that's going through tough times, that allows it to drag on and to affect their life. My boy OG is drinking. I love the sound of that. But, again, I don't want to negate that anybody struggle. If you're, struggling with depression or anxiety, those are legitimate issues. And I don't think that, this is not the only solution that's going to help in that. And again, I have to say that I'm not qualified at all to be speaking about that. So, don't listen to me in regards to this. I'm just saying that I think for everybody out there, it takes work to be happy. And it's something that if I can recommend you doing, following. I saw some people saying that they're doing the walks every day. I love to see that. It makes me feel good. It encourages me to keep doing the walks, and it encourages me to keep spreading information that I think could be beneficial. So just like the walks is an everyday type of thing, this is an everyday type of thing. And I actually, to be honest, I didn't really appreciate this little nugget of advice that I got. I know I got it from my father. My cousin TJ re-instilled it in me because I believe my father instilled it in TJ. And it's that expression of gratitude. You'd be surprised with how much your life will change if you just wake up and say, you know what? I'm grateful I got this in my life. Or I'm so happy I have this. And it's such an interesting thought. And it may even sound out there, but we create our own realities, everybody's individual reality, and the way you perceive the world and the reason why it is the way it is because of your thoughts and your perceptions. And they're very different from the next person over. And once you have that understanding and you know how that can actually affect your life, I'm going to stop this esoterical philosophical conversation. I'm just going to talk about Instagram. All right. Instagram can be awesome, and it can also be just awful. It's horrible. And I'm going to tell you why. I spend way too much time on the Explore page, okay? And now the Explore page could obviously lead you to great connections with people, introduce you to new ideas and topics, but I see so much garbage is just being thrown out there, gossip, negative stuff that I don't even care about. You know what I mean? I don't even know how it shows up on there. And you have to realize when you're clicking on that and you're just doing mind-numbing stuff, what you want to do is you want to focus on the positive stuff. You want to not necessarily ignore the negative stuff, but you got to put a lot more positivity in your life. You start clicking on the positive posts, you'll notice your Instagram feed turns into a more positive post. It's actually very interesting, and you can do this with anything. For example, if I want to see more motorcycles on my Instagram, I'll just click on all motorcycle pictures. And then pretty sure, like in a week or so, my entire Explore page is all motorcycles. So going back to the philosophical stuff, you wake up, you look for positivity in your life, give it a week, maybe a month, who knows? But that's pretty much all you're going to see. And the older I get, the more I realize that my father was right, TJ was right, and is right, you really have to express gratitude. And that's step one, you know what I mean? Or one of the steps. I don't have a book coming out. I just want to spread some little nuggets of positivity, little pieces of information, and encourage you guys to, be compassionate, to care for one another, because at some point, you're going to need help. And there's one song that my father introduced me to that, I feel like it has such a powerful message, and that's Lean on Me by Bill Withers. And if you don't know that song, I highly encourage you to go listen to it. I highly encourage you to read the lyrics. This is the reason why I'm recommending it is it is a great song, and Bill Withers is a fantastic artist. But the meaning behind the song and however you choose to interpret it is very important, because the way I choose to interpret it is, he's telling this person to lean on him when they're not strong, He even says something along, swallow your pride, and he also knows, it's at one point in the song, he says, we all need someone to lean on, and that means that at some point you're going to need someone to lean on. And I'm a big believer in karma when I'm out there on the road, on my motorcycle, just even how I treat people. And I promise you, I can see it pay back in dividends. For example, I went camping the other day, making some videos about it soon. Had to drive a van. It wasn't my van, but I had to go drive a van, grab some more supplies on Angeles Crest. It's a high-speed road. And I always pull over because I was going too slow. So I always pull over. People go around, get out of my way, and keep on going. The next day, when I had to ride that same road on my motorcycle, everybody that was slow in front of me pulled over. Now, if you're a motorcycle, you kind of understand how that's great. But when it just comes down to it, it's karma. You know what I mean? It came back full circle for me. So, I can just give examples like this all the time of little nuggets and stuff that I'm slowly learning. But I just want to encourage everybody. It's coming up on that 30 minutes. I got to look more presentable for my meeting coming up, and maybe make a coffee, get a little bit more energy. But I do want to continue having these things. I got to think about what it is that I had a whole great thought out in my head on my walk today. Kind of went out the window. I was just kind of vibing here. wanted to share with you guys what I've been thinking about, but I really think compassion is such an important human quality. There's sympathy and empathy. I believe sympathy is that you can kind of feel what somebody's going through, and empathy is what someone's going through. I don't really believe in empathy personally, because I don't think that people can truly know what someone is going through. I think that you can feel for them, and I think that you can have compassion. That's why I value compassion so highly, because I feel like compassion allows you to put yourself kind of in their shoes. For example, I've met a few people who've lost their father. I lost my father. It's obviously a deep pain, but the reason and why it's a pain is completely different for everybody that I've met. So you could say I'm empathetic towards them, but I don't believe that I truly am. I'm compassionate and I'm sympathetic towards them. And maybe you understand, maybe you agree with what I'm saying, maybe you don't, but leave some comments down below, or I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to leave this up here, because I think it's very important to continue to preach positivity about compassion and understanding people. And this is where it's hard. And this is where I think everybody comes down to it, and it is a fault. I think we're hypocritical by nature. And I don't know and by we, I kind of mean humans. And by that, I'm just looking at myself. I'll preach something or I'll say something to you guys, and then I'm sure you can find an action in my life in which I didn't take my own advice. And I've seen that with other people. I've seen that with myself. So it's important to know that you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to always be on, but it is important to start laying that groundwork for compassion, for understanding other people. And I think that you try to understand, you try to feel, maybe not the pain, but you try to put yourself in their shoes to understand what it's like to deal with they're dealing with, and you got to know you can't change the world by yourself. You can't make it better in one day, but step by step, little by little, they say Rome wasn't built in a day. And I obviously don't think that we're going to all of a sudden change the course of history just off of one live. But I think that if everybody here, we got 735 people here listening right now. If everybody decided to do one act of kindness from now until the end of the year, and I'm not good at math, so I would mess that up. But that would be an exponential, you know what I mean? It would get bigger and bigger and bigger until everybody's doing something nice for each other. And sometimes it's a naive way of thinking, but I think it's a hopeful way of thinking. And I think that we can all slowly work our way towards that. So I don't know. One thing that, I love talking about this. I love having deep conversations. And I actually like to add some more people on this, because I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now, which I am. It's good to see everybody. But I used to believe that people don't change. And to a certain degree, I feel like, if you're a certain person, you might always be that person. But in my experience, I think if you're a person who wants to grow, like I said earlier, you will grow. I think if you're a person who's stubborn and doesn't want to change, then you won't, and I think that maybe in that sense you can say people don't change. But even then, I still think that, even that's kind of me being hypocritical right there. You need to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I need to stop myself, and that's just a perfect example. I think that given the opportunity and the right set of circumstances, everyone should want to grow, should want to change, should want to learn to be better and all that stuff. So, I really think that, catching myself, not being a hypocrite there, I think that it is important to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, that everybody will want to do better. I know I've made my fair share of mistakes, and I'm constantly out there trying to learn from those mistakes. And I'm willing to admit when I was wrong, because ultimately that doesn't matter, who's right, who's wrong. It's who's making the best of this world, who's making the best of your life and my life, So I feel like I just keep rambling on. I just want to give you guys a little nugget of positivity. Hopefully, a little bit of conversation might help you guys. You can choose to address this with your families and friends. However you want to go about this conversation. I'm just going to go scroll through a little of these comments here. Let's see what we got going on. I'm going to learn this stuff here. Owen Key said, would you plan on spreading HLA in more cities? The answer is 100%. I do have a fear, though, of being too corporate. And I've seen that when things become too corporate, we're here to heal. We're here to help people. And I don't want the decision-making process to go so bureaucratic that we don't get anything done. So the idea behind the Heal Los Angeles LMU student organization was to encourage other students who felt similar to us to start a program in their own city, in their own school, wherever it was, to kind of start that message. Long term, that's still a goal of mine. You know, my father wanted to heal the world, and I feel that, you know, blessed with the platform that he's given me and that I have this platform on a smaller scale. It's going to take a little bit more time, but I really do believe that we can get there. But it is very important for me to retain the authenticity that the neighborhoods and the communities that we're trying to impact require, because I don't come from these neighborhoods. I don't come from these communities, and I don't know what they need. I need to come with an open heart and open ears to listen, to best bring them the opportunities that they need to exceed in life. So, yeah, that's just to let you guys know, definitely considering opening up. I don't know at what point, but would love to do some, I don't want to call them franchises, but, you know, other cities for the HEAL program, I would say. Evita Pirata said, do you speak Spanish? You know, I used to speak Spanish. Now I kind of understand. I just didn't really have anybody to practice with, and it sucks because I really miss that conversing, you know what I mean, in another language. It's so awesome. But I can still kind of like understand little words here and there. I think if you speak, the word is si habla lentamente, es más fácil para comprendo. I don't know if that was right, but I'm basically trying to say if you speak slower, it's easier for me to understand. Let's see. Somebody on one of the questions asked, what's the donations for? The donations for the Heal Los Angeles Foundation. This is awesome thing where Instagram will send all the money that we raise on this live to the Heal Los Angeles Foundation, and all the money that goes to the Heal Los Angeles Foundation, goes towards programs that benefit the communities of Los Angeles. We have an awesome cooking class going on right now that we just started a couple weeks ago. We have been doing COVID-19 relief actually since April of 2019, so close to the start of the pandemic. And, you know, I personally, it's just a way to give back. You know, I've been blessed with this community. I've been blessed with my family, and I just feel that it's my duty to give back. So that's what we're here for. That's what this Heal Los Angeles movement, this foundation is for. And we just want everybody who has a similar belief and a similar hope for society to be able to contribute in any way that they can, either through volunteering, through spreading the message, or through financial donation. So that's what we have here. We've had 25 donations, a total of $332.86. We've got I 30. Thank you. Samiam, Ugom Salim, yours truly, April, Scarlet Pool, Callie Devas, T. Edward, Lorena Duque, I'm messing up people's name already. Monica Norma, Crystal Lee, Sue Hotchkiss, Riley Shan Marie, Ron Doy, Brandon, Red NYC, Ailey Crate Official, Maria Chatty, Scarlet Pole. All right. Thank you guys. Really do appreciate those donations. And you guys are hopefully be seeing the fruit of our labors very soon. You know, we follow the Heal Los Angeles socials, and you can get updated on what we're doing over there. Go through some of these here. Let's see. All right. We've got so many of these. Somebody asked, what's my favorite place I've ever lived? You know, I'm very fortunate to have actually lived a few places, but I've only really had the true living experience in Los Angeles. So, you know, I mean, kind of biasedly, I try to say unbiasedly, but it is pretty biased. I really do like living in LA. Sometimes the people are mean, but the weather's great. You know, the topography, the geography, I love that. I don't speak French. I saw somebody ask that. I saw that this one girl, she spoke over 20 languages. That's amazing. Okay, that was props to her. But all right, you guys, this is, I just kind of got off topic here. I just wanted to hope everybody's doing well out there. Again, there's a lot of hate out there and we need to beat it. The only way you can drive out hate is with love. Pretty sure Bob Marley may have said that. So just lead with your heart. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. Hope you guys all stay safe out there. Really appreciate all you guys joining me this early in the morning or late at night, wherever you guys are at. Appreciate you. And again, everybody who donated, thank you guys for your time. And I also want to remind you guys, you don't have to donate to be a part of this Heal Los Angeles and this healing movement. You just got to lead with compassion, lead with love, spread the message, do your part to make this world a better place, because it's not going to be just one person. It's not going to be a few people. It needs to be all of us. And if it is all of us, we're going to get it all done. So thank you guys. Really love you guys. Very grateful for all of you that joined in here, for everybody that donated, for everybody that commented. Couldn't do it without you guys. So really appreciate you all. Love you guys. You stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.